Good day, my viewer. Back to our topic. So I greet you all across the globe at the principle of business that we have started discussing. We talked about some basic necessities in business. And I've said in my discussion that money is not the first necessity. It's not part of the first necessity in business, which is called the fundamentals in doing business. So I talked about the key ingredients in doing business. I said the first thing is vision, and vision is the art of seeing invisible. See the future from now. See the end of the matter before you got started. The building we are in presently was a vision. It was in the imagination of someone before it becomes the reality. So if you cannot picture it, you cannot future it. Then we talked about the key, the relative knowledge. Understand the knowledge you need in the business you want to do. You don't need all the knowledge in the world, but there's knowledge that are relative to the nature of the business you want to do. Then, then understand the fundamental principles, the nitty-gritties about the business, the components that make up that business. When you talk about uh, banking industry, is different from textile industry. There are different things that make up ideology around textiles and also fundamental things that make up ideology around banking. So that is where our last discussion stops. And I explain further on what these narratives means. I talked about people who do business today without having a dime. All they have is skills, knowledge, and the vision, and they got started. When the business grow to the point where money needed, money will definitely appear. So I said in our last discussion that tell you about my personal story, how I got started in the business I'm doing. I'm into network marketing business, and the first time I came into this industry, which is network marketing industry, I never had money. Prior to that, I live in the north where I own businesses. I was into mining and I also had a pure water packaging business or packaged water business, which is popularly called pure water. Then I'm talking as far back as I started in 1997. I started in from mining. From there, I own a factory and I was growing the business. 2005, a crisis happened and I lost everything. I left the north, I came down to the south thinking life would be better here in the south. But unfortunately, getting down to the south, my situation grew from bad to worse. It grew so bad I couldn't feed myself. For me to survive on daily basis, I need to live on sorting out for aids, which we call fine bara. And I did this for 1.5 years on the street of Ibadan till I got tired of life. I lost hope in myself. I lost courage. One day somebody gave me 50 naira to eat and I walked down to a buka. I bought cassava swallow, which is called akpu in our local language here. And I also buy eba, 20 naira. So without meat. That was the food I was eating when a man sat beside me. I was observing me. I get irritated with his observation because I was not really happy with myself. So after a while, he tried to create relationship and he asked me, what do I do for a living? I gave him a gestures that I was actually doing nothing. And he said he has a business idea that I want to share with me. So I pay attention to listening to him, and he brought out a magazine and he started showing me pictures of people who has made fortune in a proposed business he's talking about. I was excited, I was interested. So I show a desire and I say, how do I start the business? He said, I need money. So immediately he mentioned money. My heart skipped out of my mouth and I just lost faith. I told the man, I don't have money and I don't think I can have money. He looked at me with surprise and he chuckled and he said something. He said, if you can get this money to get this business started, if you can start this business, he didn't even use money. Say, if you can start this business, your life will change for better. That statement struck my heart. It's like a thunder lightning that pierced my heart apart. And recovering from that imagination, I saw a bright future. I saw a glorious future. I saw a beautiful moment. I saw success. I saw my life coming back to me again. And a new hope kindled like a lightning to my life. Despite that, physically nothing has happened, but in my mind, something has happened. And that is why W. Clement Stone said, whatever the mind can conceive and can believe, then it can achieve. Physically, nothing has changed, but mentally, something has changed. My life has transformed instantly without just a statement that the man uttered. And I told the man, I said, don't worry, I'll get this business started. Throughout the night, I couldn't sleep. I was ruminating. How am I going to get started? They say when there is a will, there is a way. When the heart is willing, it finds a thousandth way. And when the heart is not willing, it finds a million excuses. I want to tell you out there, you that have a desire to get something started and you believe it is money or it is something that is a stumbling block, I can tell you it is the level of your desire about that thing that is a stumbling block. There is no stumbling barrier anywhere. It is the limitation of the mind that is blocking it. I thought over the night, I couldn't sleep. When about the dawn of a new day, an idea came to my mind because all I needed to start this business as of then was just 5,270 naira. That was 2007. And I couldn't see how I could raise it. If you tell me to go and borrow at that point, I borrow more than enough that even the lender, they are afraid to come and ask for their money from me, because by the time you come to ask for your money, the situation you meet me will warrant you giving me more than what I was owing you. So I couldn't see anyone I could turn to borrow me. And I came with ideology that how am I surviving? I sought out myself by meeting people and what we call fine bara. And I told myself I will raise 5,270 naira wherever it is across the globe, and I will get started. So the following day, I came out from my house. If you are familiar with Badon, I live in a place called Sawmill, close to Iwo Road. And I began to beg for money, for alms, let me use that language, people to help out in trying to raise just 5,270. And I trekked from what do you call a sawmill to where they call Muslim. And the best I got that day was 100 naira. And I summoned courage to the person who is showing me the business. And I told the man I had money that I want to deposit because I thought I would be able to raise the money in bulk, but I couldn't get it in bulk, but I have part payment to deposit for the business. And he asked me how much. I brought 100 naira, and the man looked at me and he laughed me to scorn. And to encourage myself, I told the man, I'm just bringing this money to show you that I'm serious about the business. But I'll prove to you that I'll raise the money. And he collected the money from me. It took me another 3 days to raise another money. At that time, after going about sorting out where I can raise money, I got another 100 naira. But that day, I was very hungry. So I have to branch in a buka. I bought a cassava swallow, which is called fufu, 20 naira. And I bought pure water, 5 naira as of then. And the money remains 75 naira. I walked down to the man's house. After knocking his house, I told him I've raised some money. He asked me how much. I couldn't tell him the amount. I was I was fretting. After summoning some courage, I brought out the money and he saw 75 naira. He felt slightly offended. And I started begging him that I'm not taking you for granted. I'm not showing unseriousness. This is the situation I found myself. I have to open up some part of my life because I don't really want him to know how my situation, how severe life was dealing with me. I want to prove that courage to myself. So I told the man, I don't want to tell you that I'll raise money. So he called a son of his, about 10 years old, to go and buy in an envelope. And he took me to a sitting room. And he had a calendar hanging on the sitting room wall. And he flipped one of the calendar and he placed the envelope. And he said, whenever I bring my money, I should be dropping it inside this envelope. It took me 3 weeks and 2 days to raise that startup capital. And that is how I got started. I believe somebody will say, yeah, it was money that made me start. It wasn't money that made me start. It was will. It was passion that made me start. Because if I don't have will, the resources to get started will never show up. So what am I saying in essence? Money is not what you need to get started. What you need to get started, first of all, is the vision. I got started immediately. The man shared the vision, shared the business opportunity with me because I saw the future. That is a vision. I saw the present life I'm living now as of then. My imagination lighting up a brighter future that I'm anticipating. So it was the zeal and anticipation to see the reality of what was living in my mind that get me out to do something. And it was that something I did that create an avenue that made it possible for me. So what am I telling you, the viewer that looking at me presently, is that when you have a passion and a vision, life will mobilize a way out. And most of the time, the way out are not going to look simple. The way out are not going to look easy, because when I got charged with that business ideology, my impression is that that following day I will raise 5,270, but it couldn't work that way. Life has to try me. So life will try you even when you are passionate. Life will try you even when you have the vision. So life has to try me to know how ready am I for the futures I'm about to live. You see, life contains everything we want in life, but life will never give us everything we want. We have to contend for it. So it is that contention that proves to life that you are genuine about your quest. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich says something. He says, I bargain with life for a penny. He said, and life will pay no more. At evening, when I counted my scanty store, I realized that if I have asked of life something bigger, life would have willingly give me. Why? Because life is a just employer. He now put a caveat. He said, once you set the wages, why not? You must bear the tax. So many people want a great future. So many people want a great success. They desire that success, and that is the wages you are setting to life, but they are not willing to bear the tax. The tax of me getting that business started is for me to go out with whatever thoughts in my mind and get to see how I can get it done. Even though going out does not give me that solution, but it gave me a step towards that direction. And that is why they said, 1,000-mile road start with a baby step. Once you are ready to take the first step, you will take the next step, and that is how you're going to proceed. Many people are viewing me presently now who have so many great ideas, so many great business ideology. The reason why they are not starting is because they are looking for a perfect time. I can bet for you there is not going to be any perfect time. It is you that will make the time that is available perfect. So getting started, any way you can get started, is the first fundamental of getting ahead in the journey of success. If I did not make up my mind, I must go out and raise the fund I need to get started. The fund will not come and raise me. My stepping out is what leads to that success I'm seeing today. I gave an analogy in my last presentation before today that if you are traveling to Ibadan from Lagos in the night and you have a car to travel with, when you on the headlamp of that car, the headlamp cannot see from here to Ibadan. The headlamp can only see a little distance. If you trust that distance enough and you are ready to travel that distance, before you end that distance, life will present another distance to you. Before you finish that distance, life will present another distance. Once you are ready to trust that distance and you are ready to travel the distance, that is how life begin to present it to you till you finally find yourself in the destination you desire. The dream of the future I had then is still what is propelling me to get to work. And every day by day is becoming better. Someone said life is not going to be easy, but it's going to be better. But you must start the quest of that journey first. So that's how I got started. And getting started and getting registered into the business do not translate to success again. Life has to present another little distance. How do I get the business rolling? How do I get the product selling? How do I get people joining the business and make up partnership with me? I was eluded in the knowledge of how to do it. But I did not wait and say, because I don't have knowledge, let me see, maybe when knowledge come. I started doing what I think I could do. And the only thing I think I could do then was to start selling the product. People doesn't want to buy the product because number one, I don't have knowledge of this product. So when they asked me several questions, I couldn't find a right answer to give them. So I realized that I was knowledge deficient. But prior to that, I read a book, or I own a book that I read over and over at that point. And the book was written by Mike Murdoch. The book is titled 1 Minute Businessman Devotion. That book was a transformation in preparation to that business. What does that book said? The book made an analogy of Jesus Christ as a businessman. He said Jesus Christ has a product he wants to sell to the world. The first thing Jesus did was not to take his product to the world. The first thing is that Jesus studied his product. He spent 30 years understanding and preparing and get ready for the product. And after he had the knowledge of the product, And that is what I mean by first thing you need is vision. The second thing is what? Relative knowledge. He said Jesus Christ studied that product and he knows it very well. And one day, Jesus Christ went to a public place in a synagogue and he advertised his product. I think in the book of Luke 5, if I still get it correct, when he says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor, to recover the sight for the blind, to heal the brokenhearted, and to declare the acceptable years of the Lord." I just paraphrase that scripture. Now, Mike Mudor said in that book, he said that is the product that Jesus Christ wanted to sell to the world. And he declared it. And he said the eyes of people were fascinated on him. And he looked at them and he said, "Today, this product will be sold among you." I say this scripture shall be fulfilled in your hearing. Now, the second stage of it, he did not wait for people to come and be buying the product. He said he took the product and begin to advertise it to people who might likely need it. So when you have a great idea, you must take time to have knowledge about your idea, about your business quest. Having idea is not sufficient. You must find out relative knowledge that will make this business idea to better humanity. Like when I define, if you listen to my first episode, when I define business, that business must be an enterprise that you do in order to what? To benefit humanity in exchange of value. So now you need to understand that how do I make this thing make impact in the lives of others? Because the business you have or the idea you have is not primarily for you, it's for us, it's for the world. Then you must study the way the world will be able to accept it, the way it can be able to be beneficiary to the world that you want to give the idea for. The mango's fruit is not primarily for the mango. The mango fruit is for people. And until the mango advertises product to the world, that is when it will attract the audience who want to eat from that tree. If the mango hide that fruit, people may not be aware. So you need to make awareness of that idea, awareness of that business that you have in mind. So Jesus Christ took his product and began to advertise it to the world. Now, that is the areas of awareness. I used to tell most of my trainees that it is not the best product that sells best in the society, but is the product that generates more awareness that sells best. Among the toothpaste we use to brush our teeth, there's a particular product that is more popular and is sold best. When I rated quality in paste, I realized that it does not fall among the top 10 of those toothpaste that is present in our nations today. But when you look at the volume of sales, they have the highest volume of sales than any other product. So there is one thing to have a good business or a good idea. There is another thing to know how to make publicity of that thing. Because it is knowing that will create attraction. So if you have a good business or a good ideology and you do not create an awareness for people to know about it, it's equal to not having anything at all. So Jesus Christ was not hiding in one local place and expect people to come and be buying that product. Mike Mudor said Jesus Christ took his product to different places. That does not mean as good, as beautiful, as needful this product is, everybody are going to accept it. He said your products are going to face rejection. There was a time Jesus Christ went to a village or a city to advertise his product. So he get to the entrance of that city and he demonstrated, he do sampling of his product. to the people to have an idea of the product is bringing to sell to them by driving an evil spirit to the swamp, and those swamp ran into water and God perished, and the man was made whole. And when this news spread to the city, the people in the city mobilized themselves and waged against Jesus Christ and prevent him of entering that city for the product to benefit others. So as far as that city was concerned, it was only one man that was used for sampling that had benefit of this amazing product. Now, that experience is rejection. So no matter how beautiful your business ideology is going to face rejection. So rejection does not mean your product is not good. Rejection does not mean your ideology is not good. Rejection simply means the people does not need it or does not want it, not because it is not good, but because of their personal evaluation of that product. Maybe there are sorcerers in that city and they realize that Jesus Christ is going to spoil market for them. Maybe that's the reason they prevent him of come and advertise his product. Maybe there are people who have power to oppress others spiritually, and they know that the product that Jesus is bringing is going to set them free, and they don't want that to happen in their city. So what do? They wage it. Jesus did not cry. Jesus did not force himself on them that you must accept this product. This product is for you people. This and that must benefit. No. And Jesus did not cry and begin to say, God, you see, you gave me this assignment and I'm willing to do it too. See, they have rejected me. It's not my fault too. Let me go back. The story said that Jesus moved to the nearest cities and he did more exploits than the one he has ever done before. So when your product or your business is rejected in a place, it's telling you there is a better place where has a high demand of what you are doing, that you need to quickly leave that spot and go and identify the place. And he did not go back home that day because he was rejected. He moved to the nearest city and he did exploit. So your product are going to be rejected. So rejection is part of the process of growth. In other way, we call it failure. You are also going to fail in business because late Mike Moreau, he said, failure is the land that you must pass through to enter the land of success. He said the land that leads to success is called the land of failure. If you are not ready to fail, you are not ready to succeed. And he said, winner or a champion, there is no champion without challenges. It is when you overcome challenges you become champion, because most people that become champion do not become champion at their first instances. Several times they lost several battles, they lost several fights before they win one. But the one they won nullified the one they lost. So in the journey of business progression, you are going to lose, you are going to experience losses. But losses are preparing you for winning. It is only a person that gave up that does not have hope for success. When you keep improving on yourself and be better for it, then your chances of succeeding is high. Brent Tracy wrote a book. He called it Failing Forward. Now, he said, the secret that leads to success is in your ability to keep failing forward. What does he call failing forward? When you fail, you bring your failure back, analyze it, improve on it, and be ready to do another failure. He said, once you discover that, you begin to become better and better and better, and that better reveal you to the world. So successful people are bunch of failure who have refused to give up, and they are ready to dare failure more and more and more until success has no choice than to reveal itself for them. So for you to be successful in journey to greatness in business, These are part of those things that the journey require. I believe today has been another wonderful experience to inspire you on understanding the principle of business and how to make success and progression in business world. I appreciate you for this episode you are listening to, and I believe we still have more to share. So watch out for my next episode of business success or business experience with me. Thank you very much. See you next time. God bless you.